How's it going, guys? Welcome back. My name is Arky, and today we've got a battle of epic proportions. It's been a while since the AN Pro 2 came out, and for me it still holds the best price to performance 60% keyboard on the market. Or does it? This is the Kemove Snowfox 61, and it's quickly becoming people's favourite. Now, do I think it's better? Well, we're going to go over the pros, cons, specs of both, and then finish with a typing test, and I'll give you my final thoughts so then you can make a decision on which one you want to buy. Sound good? I've had over a year's experience with the AN Pro 2 and over 2 months experience with the Kemove Snowfox 61, so I've put a few hours in on each. Will the AN Pro 2 finally be knocked off its throne? Let's find out. So I'm not going to hold you up too much on this, but let's talk about the boxes quickly. The Kemove Snowfox box is nicer aesthetically. Included you get the keyboard, a switch puller, a keycap puller and some test switches as well. In the AN Pro 2 box you'll find the keyboard, a keycap puller, the cable and some multicoloured keycaps. The amount doesn't vary, but I'm pretty sure what caps you get in what colour varies per box. I've had a few of them. Let's move on to aesthetic. Now this is all subjective, but I thought I'd share my opinion anyway, then you can make a decision around it. The AN Pro 2 is very simple and clean cut, and please bear in mind the white version will allow a lot more RGB to shine through, as per most keyboards. The extra keycaps give you some fun customization out of the box, and bad luck if you don't like red because that's the only colour the cable comes in. The case reminds me of a tofu if you're familiar, just a bit thinner and made out of plastic. It definitely suits a minimal setup as it doesn't look too busy or take up too much attention. If the red cable offends you, well, you can always pick up another one. Now with the Kemove 61, there's a bit more going on visually, with a part metal case running down that separates the keycaps from the bottom, and on the white one, contrasts pretty heavily. With this keyboard you can find some switches on the back, and that saves all the bottom for some questionable logo design. Let's discuss typing angle. The AN Pro 2 unfortunately has no adjustable feet, but it sits at a very nice angle for typing. For me anyway. It's certainly not flat and the keys are very much positioned towards you. I have to say though, the drop off between the bottom row and the desk is pretty severe and it took me a while to get used to without a wrist rest. The Kemove 61 however has adjustable feet on the bottom, they are rubberized and seem pretty stable, so if you change up typing angle it's safe to say the Kemove 61 wins here. Regarding keycaps, they're both fantastic in this department as both keyboards ship with double shot PBT. If you're not familiar, PBT is a lot more durable and a lot less likely to shine in the lifetime of your product. Most lower to mid-range keyboards come with cheap ABS keycaps and they feel lighter, become shiny and produce a hollow typing sound. Both keycap sets have shine through legends and are very comparable, however I would give the slight edge to the Kemove 61 here, I just prefer the way they feel. If you were using both keyboards for a few days, you probably wouldn't notice the difference at all. I've been using the AN Pro 2 keycaps almost daily for over a year now, and as you can see, there's still not much of a shine. However, it is worth noting the AN Pro 2 does ship with two different font styles. The one on the right is the older style and it has more of a gamer look. I think it's almost been phased out now, thankfully. And now moving down to what the keycaps sit on, the switches. The AN Pro 2 does have the lead in out-of-the-box variety. It can come with cherry switches, Gateron switches or Kale box switches, whereas I believe, or at least I couldn't find anything different, the Kemove 61 only ships with Gateron switches. But, and this is a big one, the Kemove 61 is in fact hot swappable, meaning you can take the switches out of the keyboard without any soldering and put in pretty much any switch you want, as long as they fit. So far I've had Gateron Ink Blacks and Holy Pandas in this keyboard with no problems at all. Now under the keys that are more than one switch wide, you have what are called stabilizers. The AN Pro 2 is the best keyboard out of the box by far. They come pre-lubed and feel exceptionally solid. This enhances your overall typing feel a lot more than you would expect. If you're at home right now and your keyboard is in front of you, tap either side of your Shift, Enter or Spacebar. If it rattles and feels a little loose, that's your stabilizers. Okay, now it's the Kemove 61's turn. This is one of the biggest downsides and does leave a little bit to be imagined. I was pretty disappointed with these right out of the box. Don't get me wrong, they're not the worst I've ever used, and if you're willing to modify these then it's not that big of a deal, but it lets down an otherwise fantastic keyboard. Both keyboards have software available, but they're equally as bad as each other. The OpenSkit software for the AN Pro 2 sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense. But when you figure it out, it's very easy to make custom RGB profiles, macros, or create different layers. And a little trick most people don't know, If your AND Pro 2 feels like it's dead or it's not responding, if you hold down the escape key, then plug in the wire, it boots in somewhat of a safe mode. Here you can discover the device and potentially fix any firmware problems. The Kemove software isn't fantastic either, but it's stable and allows you to do some pretty cool things with LED animations. In terms of wireless capability, the AND Pro 2 features Bluetooth 4.0, it can connect up to 4 devices at once, and that's all ran through a 1900 mAh battery. The Snowfox 61 features Bluetooth 5.1, you can connect to up to 3 devices at once, and it has a 3000 mAh battery, so that puts it leaps above the AND Pro 2. Kemove suggests this will last 15 hours with RGB on. Let's compare layouts quickly. They're both ANSI 60% keyboards, so you wouldn't expect any differences, but the changes are in the second layer. If you didn't already know, 60% have all the main keys on the first layer, then all the keys you'd expect to see on a full-size keyboard on a second layer. This can normally be accessed by holding down FN. Second key functions are normally printed somewhere on the keycap. Personally, I prefer the Kemove 61's second layer layout, as the arrow keys are closer to where they would be if the keyboard was bigger. So to answer the question you're all here for, which one wins? Well, it depends. If you're not looking to change switches anytime soon and you want a better overall typing feel straight out of the box while saving a little bit of money, then the AND Pro 2 is the one for you. But if you want better Bluetooth connectivity, slightly better keycaps, a bigger battery, adjustable typing feet, and you're not too bothered about a few rattly stabilizers while paying a little bit more money, then the Kemove Snowfox is the way to go. As always guys, if you have any questions at all, please drop them in the comments below. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you in the next one.